Welcome to Statistics Made Simple, and I am Savita Valsang. In this video, we'll learn the second measure of correlation, that is Karl-Pearson's correlation coefficient. This topic is important from the examination point of view, where you will get either a 5 marker or a 10 mark question. Karl-Pearson's correlation coefficient is also called as the product moment correlation coefficient, and it is a measure of the linear relationship between the two variables, and it measures the degree of correlation between the two variables, and it is denoted by the alphabet R, or R of x comma y, where x and y are in capital letters, that is, they denote the names of the variables, or R subscript xy. It is given by R equal to COV of x comma y. So covariance, COV of x comma y means the covariance, and covariance is a measure of the joint variability of two random variables divided by root of v of x into root of v of y. So v of x and v of y stand for the variances of the variables. In the second step, we have equal to covariance of x comma y divided by root. You know that v of x has the notation sigma x square, and v of y has the notation sigma y square. So we get the second step as covariance of x comma y divided by root of sigma x square into root of sigma y square. So which simplifies to r equal to covariance of x comma y divided by sigma x into sigma y after we take the square root. Here, it is very important to remember the formulae which are highlighted in a pink box. Now, substituting for covariance of x comma y and the variances of x and y, we get r equal to the formula for covariance of x comma y is 1 by n summation x minus x bar into y minus y bar whole divided by, you know that variance of x is root of summation x minus x bar the whole square divided by n into root of summation y minus y bar the whole square divided by n, where small n, it stands for the number of observations. Simplifying, you get equal to 1 by n into summation x minus x bar into y minus y bar divided by, in the denominator, you can write this step as root of 1 by n into root of summation x minus x bar the whole square into root of 1 by n into root of summation y minus y bar the whole square. Now in the denominator, root of 1 by n into root of 1 by n gives us 1 by n, which gets cancelled with the term in the numerator. So the final formula which we get for Karl-Pearson's correlation coefficient is R equal to summation x minus x bar into y minus y bar divided by root of summation x minus x bar the whole square into root of summation y minus y bar the whole square. Again here, the last step which is highlighted in a pink box is important. In the simplified form for the 5 markers and for the 10 markers, for raw data, Karl-Pearson's correlation coefficient formula is R equal to n into summation xy minus summation x summation y whole divided by root of n times summation x square minus summation x the whole square into root of n times summation y square minus summation y the whole square. Similarly, in the simplified form for discrete and continuous data, Karl-Pearson's correlation coefficient formula is R equal to capital N into double summation fxy minus summation fx into summation fy whole divided by root of n into summation fx square minus summation fx the whole square into root of n times summation fy square minus summation fy the whole square. And you know that capital N stands for the sum of the frequencies, whereas small n stands for the number of observations. Do practice these formulae thoroughly. Let us now learn how to interpret the value of Karl-Pearson's correlation coefficient, which is denoted by the alphabet R. A positive value of R indicates positive correlation between the two variables. A negative value of R indicates negative correlation between the two variables. If R is equal to plus 1, then it indicates perfect positive correlation between the two variables. If R is equal to minus 1, then it indicates perfect negative correlation between the two variables. If R is equal to 0, then the two variables are non-correlated, that is, they are independent. And if modulus of R is greater than or equal to 0.5, then the correlation is of higher degree. Learn these interpretations as it will help us to write the conclusions for solving the problems based on correlation. We will now discuss the properties of the correlation coefficient R. This is an important question which can be asked as a 2-marker. There are 4 points and you can write any 2 of them. And some of the properties we'll be using it in the problems which we'll solve in my next video. The first property is the correlation coefficient is independent of change of origin and change of scale. In one of my videos on the arithmetic mean, I have explained what is change of origin and change of scale. You can refer to that video for further understanding. The correlation coefficient is independent of the units of measurement of the two variables. For example, if x denotes heights in centimeters and y denotes weights in kgs, then the value of R is not expressed in any unit of measurement. That means it is independent of the units of measurements of the two variables. The correlation coefficient always lies between minus 1 and plus 1, which is also written as minus 1 is less than or equal to R is less than or equal to 1, which means that when R is equal to plus 1, it indicates perfect positive correlation, and when R is equal to minus 1, it indicates perfect negative correlation, and R can take any other value between minus 1 and 1. The fourth property is the correlation coefficient is not affected by the order of the variables. That is, R subscript xy will be the same as R subscript yx. We will now discuss some of the merits and demerits of Karl-Pearson's correlation coefficient. The first merit is this method not only indicates the presence or absence of correlation between any two variables, but also determines the exact extent or degree to which they are correlated. The second point, under this method, we can also ascertain the direction of correlation, that is, whether the correlation between the two variables is positive or negative. The demerits are, it is comparatively difficult to calculate as its computation involves intricate algebraic methods of calculations. Second, it is very much affected by the values of the extreme items. Third, it is based on a large number of assumptions like linear relationship, cause and effect relationship, which may not always hold good. And fourth, In comparison to other methods, it takes much time to compute the value of the correlation coefficient. So learn two merits and demerits of Karl-Pearson's correlation coefficient, which can be asked as a 2-marker. Practice makes progress. Keep this in mind. So keep practicing the formulae which are especially highlighted in the pink colored box. Thank you so much for watching and look out for my next video where we will find solutions to problems based on Karl Pearson's correlation coefficient.